One full court press, you need to be patient and break that. And they also have a very effective 3-2 zone defense. Broncos need to be patient and break that one down, get some good looks at the basket in that format. And of course, rebound, and more rebounds tonight.
This is a very good rebounding team. The Utah State Aggies don't shoot the ball well. They don't shoot from three very well, but they do rebound. And jumping center is Shaw and Trazzolini. The bigger Shaw tips it into the backcourt, and it'll be taken by Tennille Rowland, the 6-foot guard. Really, Medlin is the player the Broncos have to worry about, along with Shaw. And immediately Raymond Cowles the steal, took it right away from Medlin. Front court, Evan Rockemore in transition. The three ball is no good. The rebound comes down to Medlin. And here comes Utah State moving left to right in the first half, wearing their road Aggie blue uniforms. It's like a navy, trimmed in gray. Corner three ball is in the air. Twice on the rim, no good by Rowland. And John MacArthur dives over the end line to keep that ball from going out of bounds. Front court pass by Evan Rockemore, intercepted by Medlin, steps into a three. Heel of the rim miss, and the Broncos look to run the other way as they clear the rebound. Foster from Rockemore, three ball, got it.
Well, what a track meet so far in this basketball game. The Broncos draw first blood with a Foster three.
I talked with Dustin Kearns, Bronco assistant, before the game. We both did, in fact, and he said, you know, Utah State will play whatever game you want to play. They'll speed it up if you want to run. They'll slow it down. This is a team that averages 64 points per game, but they can score.
Pretty quick pace right now, AP.
Ben Clifford marked by John MacArthur. Out it comes to Rowland. Opening minute 15, and the Broncos have a 3-0 lead. Rowland turns the corner baseline on MacArthur. Trazzolini there to cut him off. Pops out top to Berger, down the lane, off the glass with the left hand, no. Rebounded by Clifford, pump fake, floats one up over Trazzolini, no good, and over the back of Berger goes Big Mark to grab it.
That play was all Mark Trazzolini that time, changing two shots and getting the defensive rebound for the transition play.
Kevin Foster pump fake, into the corner, goes to MacArthur, back out to Kevin. Kerry Keating calls the play, and now Evan Rockemore will stand at the logo, take the ball from his backcourt mate Foster, and set up the offense with 16 on the timer. Rockemore, Rowland defends, around a screen right side outside the arc, comes Foster. Evan Rockemore will go baseline, puts one up, foul. He didn't get it to the rim, but a foul is called. This one will be on Ben Clifford, the 6'7" sophomore from South Jordan, Utah, and the Broncos are at the line. Boy, it almost has a playoff kind of atmosphere because these are two teams that expect to be good this year.
Absolute electric feeling here at Levy Center tonight. And Evan Rockemore has just absolutely no fear in going to that rack hard and strong to the rim.
Evan knocks down the first, making his fifth start. 11 points, 9 assists, and 5 rebounds against Eastern Washington. That final game of that CBE Hall of Fame Classic played here at the Levy Center. Evan knocks down the second, and that gives the Broncos a 5-0 lead 2 minutes into this contest. Here comes Rowland. Behind the back with the dribble, Evan Rockemore, arms extended. Berger bounced down into the block to Shaw. Pump fake, off the glass, and scores it. He got both MacArthur and Trazzolini to get up into the air, and he laid it in easily.
And they were lost before they got up in the air, too.
Kevin Foster buries a three and was fouled by Medlin, who looks at the official Horace Shields as if to say, are you kidding me? I didn't touch him.
You know, in talking to Corey Schindler, a strength and conditioning coach of the Broncos today, obviously, I think Kevin Foster, he said, is the strongest man on the whole basketball team. Just so strong, wheels the ball to the basket, was very squared off that time in balance, finished the stroke for the three.
Medlin picks up the foul. Keyshawn Reed is into the lineup, and Clifford sits down, and now Kevin Foster, who did it 2 years ago over 20 times. And what I mean by that is he was fouled shooting a three, made the three half the time, but got to the line all the time in those sequences.
Takes such concentration to finish strongly like that.
Broncos lead at 9-2. Berger low in the block. Reverse layup is no good, but there for a powerful tip jam is Shaw. And the Bronco lead is 9-4.
Jared Shaw, welcome to Levy Center. What a great rebound tip dunk.
And the Broncos have to keep an eye on him, keep him off the glass. Double team, Trazzolini down into the block. It goes to MacArthur. Flips out top to Rockemore. Looks to the right. Dribbles to the free throw line. Back to Foster. Another three. Good again.
Boy, the microwave is really heating up here at Levy Center this evening. Feeling it is Kevin Foster.
12-4 Broncos. Foster with 9. And career three-pointer number 329. Broncos up 8. Keyshawn Reed back to the basket outside the arc. Tennille Rowland dribbles. inside to Shaw, spinning baseline, off the glass, no, but he traveled trying to get around Mark Trasolini.
And don't think the Broncos don't take pride in causing those kinds of turnovers like that. Mark moved his feet well, got set, thus called the turnover and the travel.
Substitutions for both sides, John, as the Broncos bring in Yannick Atunga. MacArthur goes to the bench. Berger sits down. And our first look tonight at Spencer Butterfield, the 6'3 junior from Loomis. Weak side on the miss and a putback for Raymond Cowles. Stu Moore wants a timeout.
Senior Raymond Cowles is pumped up. What a great offensive rebound and the putback.
Broncos have a 10-point lead at 14-4. Stu Morrill calls a 30-second timeout. One of probably thousands of 30-second timeouts he's called in his career, John. 15th year coaching at Utah State. That was after 7 years at Colorado State and after 5 years at Montana. The winningest coach in school history. Overall, he's won over 500 games. And he even has somewhat of a tie back to Santa Clara. And
I'll tell you what, Mr. Stu Morrill is also a very great basketball player in his collegiate days. A 2-time Big Sky Conference selection for the Gonzaga Bulldogs.
And you know you're going back when Gonzaga was in the Big Sky.
Exactly.
But he definitely has 27th year, 566 wins. He was the WAC Coach of the Year, 2009, 2010, 2011. Of the 15 years he's been at the school, 14 years he's won at least 21 games, and those have been in the last 14 years.
And in the last 12 years, only 3 teams have won 23 games. Gonzaga and Kansas at the other 2.
Medlin, free throw line, down the lane, leaves off for Shaw, but handed it right into the midsection of Yannick Atunga. Battle for it underneath the basket, and we have a jump ball call. Klaus Andrusat blew his whistle, and it'll be Bronco basketball with Yannick getting on the floor. I mean, we talked about this last game. That's the last thing you want to do as a guard is dribble right toward the intended recipient of your pass. You bring all the defenders to one spot.
And you don't want Yannick in your business because Yannick's going to go for the basketball on the floor every time down.
Broncos up 10, 4 minutes gone by here in the first half from the Levy Center. This is the first road game that Utah State has played this year. Cowles down into the block. Yannick back out to Kevin Foster. Moves around Butterfield. Jump pass to Rockamore. Left wing 3 is in the air. Got it!
Wow, another player that has ice water in his veins out there is Mr. Evan Rockamore. What a great drain of the 3 that time.
The Broncos are 4 of 6 from 3. Medlin in front of the Bronco bench. A whistle down low, and Yannick Atunga will be called for a 2-handed push into the back of Shaw, who was trying to get position. So Yannick whistled for a foul, but the Broncos off to a fantastic start. Our first mandatory stoppage comes at 15:29, our under-16 media timeout. It's the Broncos 17, Utah State 4. You're listening to Broncos basketball on the Santa Clara Broncos Radio Network.
A great way to wrap up 2012. It's the nation's oldest holiday basketball tournament. Santa Clara
let's play it out of the break.
Actually, and celebrate
let's play it out of the break.
46th annual cable holiday tradition since 1967. Thanks to every 2 of those years, the cable car has seen at least one of its teams reach the NCAAB tournament. This year's tournament takes place Friday, December 21st and Saturday the 22nd at the Levy Center. Santa Clara hosts the Alcorn State Braves from the Southwestern Conference. Last year's cable car champ, the Seahawks of Widener College from the Northeast Conference. And Southern Methodist University under coaching legend Larry Brown in his first year with the Mustangs. The Cable Car Classic, December 21st and 22nd, doubleheaders each night at the Levy Center in Santa Clara. For more information or to buy tickets, call the University Ticket Office at 408-554-4660, 408-554-4660, or log on to SantaClaraBroncos.com.
You're listening to Bronco Basketball on the all-new Business Radio 1220 KDOW.
Welcome back to Santa Clara, where the Broncos lead Utah State 17-4. Anthony Passarelli and John Steggy. And earlier I talked with Bronco head coach Kerry Keating about the Broncos starting the season 5-0 and what the message has been this week to Santa Clara.
Well, we did what we're supposed to do. We try to go 1-0 every time we play. Not really worried about the entire week, although it was nice to look back on it for a second and realize that only 2 teams in the entire field of 12 were able to go 4-0 between us and Kansas. And so we took advantage of the opportunity, and it's a continuation of us understanding that more opportunities are coming. And as soon as that was over, we were on to focusing on this game tonight. I think it showed in our carryover and taking care of our bodies on the weekend and getting our guys ready this last week of academics too before exams next week. So a good challenge for them, and it'd be nice to get back in front of the home crowd with students here. Obviously didn't have that last week on the break, so I'm looking forward to a good crowd, and I think that'll help energize us and help our defensive effort tonight.
Broncos with the lead 17-4, but Utah State with the basketball down into the block to Keyshawn Reed. Out top to Medlin. Julian Clark on the floor for Santa Clara. Keyshawn Reed backing in on a Tonga, spins baseline, contact made, no foul. Transalini quickly to Foster. Broncos in transition. It's Foster to the basket around Medlin. He tries to lay it off the glass. There's a tipped ball. Santa Clara saves it over the end line, and Evan Rockamore out top will slow things down. Really, Utah State can really get back on defense, and they did so there. I think it was Keyshawn Reed with a hand on that block off the backboard.
They're a very quick and athletic team out there for the Aggies.
Foster wants a 3. Foster rims out. Thought that one was going to go down. And Kevin on the miss finds Rowland in transition. Shaw on the left elbow. 14:30 left, first half. Broncos up by 13 points. 17-4 our score. Butterfield. Kevin Foster knocks it away. He steals it from Butterfield. Midcourt, free throw line, lays it in with the left hand.
Well, that dimension to Kevin Foster's game. What a ball hawk he is out there. Yet one more steal for Kevin Foster.
He's number 1 in the country in steals this early in the season. Rowland looking to go baseline. Down the lane, cut off by Transalini. On the switch, it's Julian Clark on Medlin. Medlin, looked like he traveled, but they'll call contact. James Duran blew the whistle. Kerry Keating thought it was good defense. But Julian Clark, who I thought had his feet set, made contact and is called for his first foul.
Not much of a foul there. Kind of a ticky-tack ball, as my good friend Chick Hearn would say.
Rockamore, Foster, and Transalini out. Garrett, Cowles, and our first look tonight at Brandon Clark. Brandon, the 6-foot sophomore from East Chicago, Indiana. It'll be Atonga defending against Reed. Rowland has it, turns his back to the defender to get his play call from his head coach Morrill at the other end. Jumper on the way. Rowland misses front rim. Tipped once, tipped twice. Rebounded by Stone, who just checked into the ballgame. Jordan Stone, the 6'10 sophomore, and it was Keyshawn Reed to the basket, and I think he jammed it home for 2.
Well, I swear he must have at least a 36 to 48-inch vertical, does Shaw. What a great jumper he is.
Broncos lead at 19-6 now, and this is a very good rebounding team, this Utah State Aggie bunch. Mid-block to Garrett, back to Julian Clark. Clark to Brandon Clark at the top of the arc. Rowland with a hand in his midsection. It'll go to Cowles on the left side. Atonga sets a screen. Raymond trying to go baseline on Reed. In trouble, and a pass is tipped and grabbed by Keyshawn, or actually not Keyshawn Reed, but Marvin Jean, the 6'4 junior forward from Harriman, New York. And it's Rowland. No, not Rowland, but Medlin to the basket. He's knocked to the floor hard, misses the shot, and Robert Garrett's whistled for the foul.
And that's a statement foul by Robert Garrett. He was laying back in the weeds to prevent the easy layup. He was there, changed the shot, got the foul. A good foul for Robert that time.
And Medlin's a quality player. I mean, he was the WAC preseason player of the year, selected as it before the start of this season. And last year averaged 17 points per game, tops on the team. And really, as we said, carried this team. But even if you can put that in the back of the other team's best player's mind on their way to the basket, you've done your job.
Absolutely, and Big Rob definitely did that in that sequence.
Tennille Rowland leaves. Marcel Davis, the freshman, is in. Medlin makes both free throws. 19-8 our score. The Broncos started quickly, and now slowly Utah State chipping away. Santa Clara 6 of 10 from the floor. Utah State 3 of 10. Brandon Clark down the lane, off the glass, and scores it. And late to recover was the 6'10 Jordan Stone.
Yeah, Brandon caught Stone napping that time and just slashed his way to the basket for the easy layup. Great effort by Brandon that that time down the floor.
Broncos lead it 21-8. Medlin left side. Cowles, the Broncos' best man-to-man defender, defending. Down low it goes to Keyshawn Reed, and Keyshawn Reed fell over, threw a double team backward, and was called for a travel.
Classic weak side help by Julian Clark that time, thus to cause that turnover. The Broncos work hard at that every day in practice, I guarantee you that.
Garrett and Atonga out, MacArthur and Trazzolini in. And boy, what a luxury is this for Kerry Keating. You take out Garrett and Atonga. Yannick has had playing experience, and you bring in a couple of quality players. 3-ball from the corner by Cowles is no good. Medlin the rebound. Medlin gets to half court where he's picked up by Brandon Clark. Clark's rubbed off a screen. Medlin looking for help. Keyshawn Reed goes by MacArthur off the glass and scores easily.
Boy, what great footwork fundamentals by Keyshawn Reed that time. Great crossover dribble and drop step, slashing the basket for the easy layup.
Reed with 4, 21-10 Broncos advantage. Man-to-man defense. Brandon Clark on for Rockamore for a spell here. 11:38 in the clock running. Raymond Cowles gets in deep, goes high off the window, Stone the rebound. That one didn't even come close to the rim. And here comes Marcel Davis up the center of the floor. Left elbow, pull-up jumper, no good. We have a whistle, contact after the shot. John MacArthur called for it.
Never saw that foul by Johnny Mack, but the official did, so therefore the foul.
Fourth team foul on the Broncos will take us into our under 12 media timeout. It comes to us at 11:27. It's been all Broncos so far, though Utah State slowly chipping away at Santa Clara 21, the Aggies 10. You're listening to Broncos basketball on the Santa Clara Broncos Radio Network.
Since 1925, One Workplace has been the Bay Area's one resource for your office furniture and audiovisual needs. With a full line of products and services, One Workplace has the knowledge and experience to meet the needs of many markets, including offices, healthcare, and education. If you're looking to create an exciting environment and increase productivity, One Workplace can help you design your space to fit your changing needs. Whether you're just starting out or a Fortune 500, call the experts at One Workplace today. 1-866-632-7010. That's 1-866-632-7010.
I want you to be more successful. I want you to be a machine when you're at work.
Rob Black.
Get things done. Be automatic. You'll spend less energy. Sleep is golden. I haven't slept well in feels like 8 years. I love checklists. I have a checklist of checklists. Beat procrastination. Stop putting stuff off. Don't go to that website. And have a good mood. It's so important in succeeding in life.
Rob Black and Your Money. Weekday mornings 7 to 9 on AM 1220 KDOW. You're listening to Bronco Basketball on the all-new Business Radio 1220 KDOW.
Welcome back to the Levy Center in Santa Clara. Bronco fans, you'll find the finest quality produce and meat departments at Lenardi's Markets, with locations in Los Gatos, Belmont, San Bruno, Walnut Creek, Burlingame, Danville, and San Jose. Lenardi's Market is quite simply the best. Anthony Passarelli, John Steggy, the former Bronco, with you as Santa Clara out to a 21-10 lead over Utah State. John, the Broncos 7 of 13 shooting, 4 of 8 from 3. Utah State 4 of 11 from the floor, 0 for 3 from three-point range. They shoot 30% from behind the arc, but this is a team that really has to play off its rebounding and defense, and so far they haven't been able to do that.
Boy, and Coach Stu Morrow said before the game that if they shot 50% from the field and 40 from the three-point line, they would lose this game. So we'll see what happens.
Marcel Davis at the line. He has 2 free throws coming up. Evan Rockamore, Denzel Johnson, Foster in the backcourt. Davis knocks down the first. And then front court, Trazzolini and MacArthur.
Boy, number 25 Stone for the Aggies is really a big body out there, just kind of dwarfing Mark Trazzolini at 6'9" himself.
Second free throw in the air. Kind of a line drive for the freshman, and he knocks it down. 21-12 our score. This is a team that lost. It's only lost this year. Came to St. Mary's by a score of 67-58. So kind of a barometer for Bronco fans. There's a steal.
Kevin lost a handle on that one, AP.
Marcel Davis back to a driving Marvin Jean to lay it in. And that's the second time in a small stretch that the Broncos have turned it over at the point.
And you give up a 2-on-1 fast break for an easy layup. Not a good combination for the Broncos.
21-14 our score. Broncos up by 7. Foster around a Trazzolini screen. Pump fake. Jean rubbed off a screen by MacArthur. Down low into Traz. Traz out to Evan Rockamore. 3-ball is in the air. No good. But contact on Marcel Davis behind the arc. 3 shots coming for Erock.
And right in front of Stu Morrill as head coach. Not a thing you want to do anywhere in the building, but not right in front of the bench.
Well, he did what every player should do if they're called for a foul on a 3-point shot in front of his own bench. Immediately looked like he didn't do it. I don't know who he was blowing the whistle at, but it wasn't me. Evan misses the first one. And Bronco free throw shooting coming into tonight's game, 75%, but John, over the last 4 games, 82%. Second free throw in the air.
Boy, Evan made some really key free throws. It's a very key basketball game for the Broncos down the stretch in nervous time. I know he's got ice water in those veins, and he can do the job.
Rockamore 1 for 2, came in shooting 89%. Stone sits down. Shaw back on the floor. Broncos with Rockamore on the bench, or correction, Atonga on the bench. Atonga in for MacArthur, who's on the bench. Rockamore gets 2 of 3. He has 7. Bronco lead is back to 9 at 23-14. They're trying to post Shaw, but it's Medlin on the left side. Reed sets a screen. Keyshaw then rolls to the basket as Medlin drops off for Shaw inside. Shaw with a nice big power dribble and drops one in over Atonga.
Boy, and that time he actually shot down on the basket, did Shaw. He's got such length and extension. And such a great jumper. Great move by the big guy.
Shaw with 6, 23-16 Santa Clara. Foster corner 3, it's in the air. High off the rim, off the backboard, no. Ripped away by Shaw, and it should be a travel as Davis grabbed it, and he took 3 steps. Foster was near him, but that's a travel no matter how you look at it.
Let's have the shot chart tonight reflect some better shot opportunities for the Broncos. Don't rely so much on the 3. Get closer to the basket for a high percentage shot. Get in the block. Have the big guys get fouled, go into the hoop.
So Denzel Johnson with 10:08 left to go in the first half will inbound, and a steal. Trasolini dribbles right into Davis, length of the floor, lays it in.
See, I don't want my 6'9" guy dribbling the ball way out there at the arc. Easy turnover and steal for the Aggies.
Well, and Kerry Keating has seen that 3 times, probably in the last 6 or so possessions.
Right.
A steal on the perimeter, so he wants a 30-second timeout. What that does is gives us an opportunity to talk about this Utah State Aggie club. Broncos all time against Utah State. Trail in the series. Aggies lead at 4-3 the last meeting back in November. In fact, almost to the day of 2007, November 29th. A 71-65 loss in Logan, Utah. Though the Broncos lead the series 2-0 here in Santa Clara. That loss, and we talked about it a little bit at the Eastern Washington game, that was a painful loss. The Broncos were down a possession with the ball in the final minute, and Brody Angley was called for an offensive foul. He had the ball and was dribbling to the basket, and the opposing player slapped him on the arm. He was called for a foul.
Tough way to lose it.
Free throw line, Rockamore, dump off for Atonga, who lays it in, and he's fouled.
Now, what was great about that play, not only was it a great pass from Erock in traffic, but Yannick actually had the great hands and wherewithal to catch a very difficult pass and convert, follow through, and is shooting free throws right now.
Marvin Jean picks up the foul. That's Utah State's 4th. And so Yannick, who's had his struggles this year at the line, 3 for 11, will have a chance to convert the 3-point play. And he does.
Great play by Yannick Atonka that time. Great finish.
Yannick did not score against Eastern Washington, but had 4 rebounds. His 3-point play there puts the Broncos up 26-18. And now Marcel Davis on the point. Medlin shifts, or correction, will stay at the 2 guard. Denzel Johnson defending him out near half court. Medlin behind the back with the dribble. Out comes Davis, just inside of half court. Shot clock at 16. And a pass intended for Marvin Jean. Keyshawn Johnson. Marvin Jean goes out of play untouched. Jean never put his hand out.
That curl play went awry for the Aggies. There wasn't enough curl for the completion of the pass. Thus the turnover.
Marvin Jean comes out of the game. Reed is into the game. And the Broncos with an opportunity now to push this to double digits with a 3. Denzel Johnson to the basket. Floats one in over the outstretched arm of the 6'10 Shaw.
Boy, and Denzel Johnson, you got to tell you, he's just instant offense for the Santa Clara Broncos. Whenever he gets on the floor, he always capitalizes. Seems to get a very easy basket to start things off.
28-18, Broncos up 10. Medlin working on Denzel at the other end of the floor. Baseline, cut off. Left elbow, Shaw, pump fake, and he traveled.
You know, they'll pay Mr. Shaw to take that outside shot. I would tell Mark, just stay off of him. Let him drive. He's not taking the 10-foot, 18-foot jump shot extended.
Or at least make him prove that he can make it consistently.
Absolutely.
Before you go out and guard him. That is turnover number 8 for the Aggies. They've come in averaging 12 per game. Broncos one of the best in the country, except for when Denzel Johnson travels.
Just drag his pivot foot. Easy call for the official.
Santa Clara led by Kevin Foster's 12. 6 points for Jared Shaw, who came to Utah State because one of his friends, Brock Heath Payne, who was one of the best players on last year's team, they both are from the Dallas area. And Payne said to Shaw while he was at Oklahoma State University, hey, this might be a better fit for you. And he ended up here.
Boy, so far it has been for the big guy.
Near steal. Foster took a swipe at Shaw, knocked the ball to half court, and with 10 to shoot, a corner 3 is in the air. That one's no good. Yannick Atanga slams into Reed, and Yannick's going to be called for a foul.
That's just a great foul, though, by Yannick. Skying for the basketball, skying for the rebound. Great hustle, gets called for the foul. We'll take that one every time.
There's a difference between fouling with effort and fouling because you didn't move your feet or because you're, I don't want to say lazy, but you didn't have the kind of possession defensively that you needed to have.
I want to call Yannick Mr. Hustle. He's around the ball all the time.
Yannick goes to the bench after picking up his second foul. John MacArthur is in. Davis will inbound on the baseline. In trouble. 5-second call, and the freshman couldn't get the ball in. And Santa Clara will have the ball now. Turnover number 9. And I don't think Stu Morrill is used to this. He went from standing with his arms folded now to seated on the bench.
Nothing worse than unforced error resulting in a turnover for a head coach. Maddening.
10-point lead for Santa Clara. Rockamore, Denzel Johnson, corner 3. Pump fake for Kevin. Fires in the air. Heel of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Keyshawn Reed.
Thought Kevin found himself too open that time.
Davis, Reed, top of the arc. Rockamore defending. Now down into the block it goes to Shaw, trying to back in on MacArthur. Double team, flips a pass near side to Berger. Davis pump fake to the right, back to the left. Berger dribble drive, right elbow to Medlin behind the arc, misses the 3. Rockamore the rebound.
See, that's just great defense by the Broncos that time, forcing a rather poor shot, getting the rebound going the other way.
Rockamore drives, finds MacArthur, 10-footer, got it.
Great shot, Johnny Mack. Be patient, follow through, poise, and confidence for John MacArthur. Great, too.
And the Utah State players are looking over at the bench after drives like that. What should we do?
Yeah.
Santa Clara up 12. Medlin picks up the dribble. That's Reed, a jump shot. That is up and in. It hit the back of the iron, popped into the air, and Keyshawn Reed now with 6 points.
Boy, a shooter's bounce that time. Last shot I saw with that kind of a result was Don Nelson's, Jay, against the Lakers at the Forum in the finals. What a lucky bounce.
Keyshawn Reed shoots 55%. 3 ball from the corner by Trazzolini is no good. Here's Berger in transition to the basket. Knocked away from behind, and Evan Rockamore grabs it, tries to save it from going out of bounds, but can't. But the effort was there. Evan racing back to block that shot. And as we go into this timeout, Santa Clara has a 10-point lead. 6:47 remaining in the half. It's the Broncos 30, Utah State 20. You're listening to Broncos basketball on the Santa Clara Broncos Radio Network.
Trust. It's not a word to throw around loosely, especially when you're dealing with real estate. Trust is something that's developed over time, and Gilmore & Associates Real Estate has been there since 1965. Gilmore & Associates Real Estate at 1201 Franklin Mall in Santa Clara, 246-5020, 246-5020 for all your commercial and residential real estate needs, including property management. In this volatile world we live in, especially in the Silicon Valley, you need someone you can trust. And Gilmore & Associates delivers. 246-5020. It makes no difference what your real estate needs are, residential, commercial, or property management. Leave it to the experts. Gilmore & Associates, 246-5020 in Santa Clara. You don't stay in business for over 37 years without building a trust with the people who count the most. You, the customer. Don't take a chance. Go with a name you can trust. Gilmore & Associates Real Estate in Santa Clara, 246-5020.
You're listening to Bronco Basketball on the all-new Business Radio 1220 KDOW.
Bronco fans, One Workplace is a proud sponsor of Santa Clara Athletics, providing office furniture, audio, video products, and workplace services to perfectly manage your workspace. Call One Workplace today. Well, the Broncos jumped out to a 9-4 lead, pushed the advantage to 17-14, and then 19-14. Utah State closed the gap a little bit, but the Broncos have been right around 8 to 12 points with the advantage ever since. Anthony Passarelli and John Staggy back with you from the Levy Center in Santa Clara, and the Broncos lead it 30-20.
I'll tell you what, a couple of disturbing trends, AP. Broncos being out-rebounded now 12-7, and from the three-point arc, only 4 for 10. So let's pound the ball inside. Like I said before, let's get some better looks, higher percentage shots, and get that ball down on the block.
And though Mark Trasolini has 3 rebounds, he has yet to score a point, has only taken 1 shot. And some of that probably has to do with the fact that Jared Shaw is 6'10" and really clogging up the middle. And it comes to Clifford, now to Shaw. Right side Davis going baseline on Trasolini. Leans in and has his shot blocked, does Davis.
Boy, Mark is long himself there. That time a great time on the block. Great timing, rather, to get the easy rejection by Traz that time.
Career block number 135. He's 4th all-time on the Bronco blocks list. Berger takes the inbound. Now to Clifford. Around the perimeter, left side, it goes to Davis. He'll back it out to midcourt with the shot clock at 14 and 6:30 left to go here in the first half. Picks up the dribble. Berger. Raymond Cowell swipes at it. Knocks it away, but it's picked up by Berger. Now Berger in the corner, trying to go baseline, and a push on Raymond Cowles really bails out the Aggies, as I don't think Berger had anywhere to go, nowhere to pass, but the contact was made and Raymond picks up his first.
I totally agree. Great defense by RC3 that time to almost get the unforced error, but not to be.
Santa Clara's 6th team foul. Raymond's going to come out, and Brandon Clark onto the floor. So a Santa Clara backcourt of Julian Clark, Brandon Clark, and Evan Rockamore up front. Trasolini and MacArthur. Butterfield, Spencer Butterfield, who went to Yuba City College, on the floor now. For the Aggies, Berger, top of the arc. Right side Butterfield, pump fake, knocked away, but picked up again by Butterfield. Into the block it goes to Shaw, trying to back in, and a foul is called, a hold. John MacArthur.
That's a good foul, too, by Johnny Mack that time. Nothing easy. Nothing's given down there when you get that close to the hoop. Good foul.
Broncos have to be careful here as Garrett in for MacArthur. Broncos have to be careful. 7th team foul. And now Utah State at the line. Shaw, an 87% foul shooter.
Boy, and Shaw just towered over John MacArthur in the block that time. He must be closer to 7 feet.
Knocks down the first one. Shaw with 7 points, coming off his 2nd double-double. 16 points, 12 rebounds against Weber State. Voted the WAC Newcomer of the Year preseason. A right-handed foul shooter in the air and softly through. He's got a good stroke. 30-22. Santa Clara's lead into single digits as Brandon Clark approaches half court, angles right side. Plays catch with Rockamore. Now with Clark, Julian on the left side. Brandon to Trasolini. Bounces left side. This is Evan Rockamore. Berger defending. Free throw line. Trasolini backing it out. Corner. Julian Clark to Trasolini to Brandon Clark. Rockamore. Beautiful passing. Drops off for Traz. Traz, pump fake. Shaw goes flying by, and Mark lays it in.
Boy, that's just the way the Broncos drew it up. Great sharing of the basketball that time to actually devise that play and follow through for the easy two.
That had to have been 8 passes, and right about pass number 6, you could hear Kerry Keating clapping. It was working.
I love that.
Butterfield rubs Julian Clark off a Shaw screen. Now it's Clifford into the corner. This is a 3-ball in the air by Berger, and it's good.
Well, that time the overload defense did not work. The Broncos didn't have anybody on Berger in the corner, and he drains it.
That's Berger's first 3 points of the game. Bronco lead is 32-25, and Santa Clara turns it over. Berger in transition has 3 Broncos back, including Trasolini. So he almost traveled with it. Now he's motioning for Davis to come toward him, and Davis is looking like a true freshman at times here. This is Butterfield in the corner, right in front of the Bronco bench. 4:43 left to go first half. Bronco lead is 7. And Utah State with an opportunity to get as close as they've been since 12-4. In the corner, Berger's open again for 3. Misses. Clifford is there. Back out. Butterfield wants a 3-ball. Got it.
Boy, I thought Clifford really pushed off that time on Julian Clark to get that rebound, but nonetheless, they drained the jump shot for the basket.
32-25. And now Santa Clara taking inventory here with Robert Garrett out on the floor. Evan Rockamore sneaking around on the baseline. Tranzolini left to the lane, trying to back in on Shaw. Pump fake, in trouble. Tries to flip it out, but the ball went by Julian Clark and into the crowd for another turnover.
The Broncos standing around on offense the last couple of possessions. They need to really penetrate that defense, try and get fouled down there on the block.
Broncos averaging 8.5 turnovers per game. And that is number 2 in the country. And they have 7 already here in the first half.
Not good.
Inside of 4 minutes, Davis, Clifford, right side. Tranzolini comes out to defend. Back it goes to Davis. And we've got a whistle and an offensive foul on Clifford, who slammed into Evan Rockamore away from the ball as Evan was trying to chase his player through that screen. Clifford picks up the foul. Team foul number 5, and we have our final media timeout of the first half. The under 4 comes at 3:51. Broncos 32, Utah State 28. Back after this, you're listening to Broncos basketball on the Santa Clara Broncos Radio Network.
DEFCON Construction, building the path to higher expectations and the future of Santa Clara athletics. DEFCON has perfected the discipline of design, engineering, project management, and construction. These are the disciplines which build value for DEFCON's customers today and which build lasting value for the future. Over the years, one thing has remained the same: commitment to customer service. That means listening to your ideas and responding to your needs. Today, DEFCON is ready to lead the industry forward and to maintain its momentum well into the next century. The true reflection of DEFCON's success is that 90% of DEFCON's customers are repeat customers. For more information, call 408-942-8200 or on the web at www.devconconstruction.com. Proud sponsor of Santa Clara University, DEFCON Construction.
You're listening to Bronco Basketball on the all-new Business Radio 1220 KDOW.
The Utah State Aggies are on a 10-2 run and have pulled to within 4. Santa Clara 32, Utah State 28. 3:51 remaining here in the first half. From the Levy Center in Santa Clara, students back at school, and a decent turnout for a late November midweek game.
I would say so.
Broncos will have Santa Barbara on Saturday at 7 o'clock, and then Pacific Union on December the 8th, also at 7. We invite you to join us for the final 2 games of the Bronco homestand. Get your tickets at 408-554-4660, online at SantaClaraBroncos.com, or at the Levy Center ticket office during regular business hours.
So the Broncos are settling for way too many jump shots in their offensive set. Let's get the ball down low, get fouled, get to the free throw line.
Evan Rockamore with Brandon Clark in the backcourt, facing the man-to-man defense. Kevin Foster moving around in the corner, floats one up over Butterfield, no good. And Keyshawn Reed had it briefly, but knocked it out of bounds over the baseline. Santa Clara ball with a fresh 35.
Well, you want to see Kevin Foster put up that shot. For him, it's a very high percentage shot, but I still say let's improve that shot chart and get closer to the basket.
Broncos have gone over 2 minutes, in fact, 2 minutes and 7 seconds without a field goal. So now's the time as James Duran walks over to look at the courtside monitor. Maybe get an idea. I don't know what he would be getting an idea on. Can you review who it touched last?
You might be doing that very thing right now.
Well, James Duran eyes the courtside monitor. We'll remind you that you can follow the Broncos on Facebook and Twitter. On Facebook via the Santa Clara Broncos Athletics fan page, search SCU Broncos, all lowercase, no spaces, for pictures and an inside look at everything Santa Clara University sports. And on Twitter, follow head coach Kerry Keating and everything Bronco men's basketball at SCU Hoops, all lowercase, no spaces. John, will you be following the Twitter feed?
I don't Twitter, but I do Facebook. There you have it. Had a long talk with Coach Carroll Williams tonight. 21 seasons at the Bronco helm, 8 as the AD. I know he's in attendance tonight. He's got a basketball team here in place. Jerry Bellotti, Mark Bruning, Bud Ogden, Tom Lunsford. and Gary Gilmore are all here in attendance. We wouldn't be very quick, but we look good in the airport.
You would look good in the airport. As long as it was earlier in the morning.
That's very early. After coffee.
Santa Clara, 52% shooting. Slowly, Utah State is picking up their shooting percentage at 45. After Santa Clara started 4 for 6 from behind the arc, they have missed 4 straight.
And scoreless for how many minutes now?
Well, without a field goal since 5:41, and we're at 3:37 now, so 2 minutes and 4 seconds actually. And now Klaus Andersot has come over to have a conversation with James Duran, and I'm not sure if they're backing it up or not, backing up the videotape to try and get a sense for maybe who it touched.
I like this in the officials in that they want to get the call correct and make it right, and thus the constant review. Now here's the decision.
Kerry Keating wants to know if a timeout was called. And James Duran has now called Stu Morrill and Kerry Keating that an elbow was thrown on the play. And I think they're going to say that Kevin Foster was the one who threw the elbow.
Interesting. And thus the foul?
I think so.
Yeah, huh. Well, at least we're trying to get it right by the constant review on the monitor.
Now Foster and Keating are having a conversation, and I think Kerry's telling him, we want to get you some space. A flagrant 1.
Wow. Boy, you know, Stu Morrill said it about Kevin Foster's new body. He's got an NBA body and really thinks that Kevin could go deep in that higher NBA level of league. Nice compliment.
Kerry Keating wanted to know why it wasn't a timeout for Utah State. Butterfield at the line misses the first free throw. So a flagrant 1 means 2 technical free throws and the ball for Utah State.
Sure.
Second free throw is in the air.
Ouch.
1 of 2.
Well, Kerry's not griping too much, so apparently doesn't disagree too much with that call.
The 8th foul on the Broncos is a flagrant 1 on Kevin Foster. Butterfield out, Medlin in. The Broncos have held Medlin to 0 for 2 from the floor. He's their second leading scorer at 13 points. And now James Duran is going to have a conversation with Klaus Andersot. I don't know.
Or do you want to have dinner? Fiorillo's?
Yeah.
Huh.
I do, actually. It would be nice. Maybe they should have had dinner at Fiorillo's. 32-29. Bronco lead is 3, so Utah State can tie with a 3 here. 3.5 minutes left. Into the block it goes. Big Rob Garrett defending against Shaw. Backing in. Jump hook on the rim twice. No good. Weak side board to Trazzolini. Foster, front court, left side. 3 in the air. Front iron. Miss. Medlin to half court. 3-on-3. Chased by Clark. Picks up the ball. Down low. It goes to Keyshawn Reed. Top of the arc Davis. Right side Berger. 3 ball. Ties it.
Well, momentum switched now to the Utah State Aggies. That time sharing the basketball beautifully in their offensive set, getting an easy look at the basket for the easy basket.
A 13-14-2 run now for Utah State. Broncos settling for 3s. And right now, 4 of 11. Rockamore fires. Rockamore misses. Yeah. Berger the weak side board.
We need a basket, Broncos. Come on, get the ball down low. High percentage shot on offense.
This is a good defensive team, and they didn't come out of the gate that way, but they've figured it out. Utah State has, and has clamped down.
It's all about making adjustments on the basketball floor in the flow of the game.
Medlin from Davis. Inside the logo. Reed sets a screen, and Reed threw his hip out and caught Evan Rockamore. Reed picks up the foul. That is team foul number 6. And with the score tied at 32 and 2:20 left, Broncos will have the ball.
Yeah, tell Reed, it isn't hokey pokey out there. He can't do that. It's illegal still.
And then walked over to Horace Shields, the official, and asked for an explanation. And Horace told him, put his hands on him, and says you can't do that. 2:12 left to go in the half. Kevin Foster, right elbow. Rockamore, right wing. Picks up the dribble. Kevin, top of the arc, into the paint. Floats one high into the air. Misses. And there for the rebound is Shaw. Shaw loses it out of bounds. Stu Morrill off the bench and out onto the floor. Angry, he thought there was a push.
Boy, but the Broncos are still just stone cold from the field right now. My goodness.
Last field goal once again at 5:41, so coming up on 4 minutes. Brandon Clark to inbound baseline right. He has to hurry. The pass comes to Tranzolini. Keyshawn Reed intercepts it. Is going to go to the basket, lay it in off the glass, and a foul is called on Tranzolini. And now Utah State has the momentum for sure.
Boy, just a very careless pass for the easy passing lane interception. What a great finish that time by Reed to the basket. Strong effort to the hole on the line.
Brandon Clark out. Raymond Cowles in. Rob Garrett pulling at his jersey. He's been out on the floor for some time and now I think is ready for a blow. The left-hander Reed trying to convert the three-point play. No good. Shaw tips it to himself. Garrett defending. Shaw low on the block. Will fire it out to Davis. $1:45 left in the half. Broncos down 2 now after having a lead of, I believe, as many as 15.
Yes.
Davis dribbling on Rockamore. Looking for Berger in the corner. The Broncos switch nicely. It's now Medlin. Shaw sets a pick. Medlin kicks the ball. On the floor it goes. And a quick timeout. Medlin, I don't even think he yelled timeout. I just think he looked back at the official and Horace Shields gave it to him.
Boy, RC3 almost picked his pocket that time for the turnover, but not to be that time.
The Broncos were getting steals early. The Broncos were making three-pointers early. The Broncos were defending better early. All of that has evaporated along with the lead. It's Utah State 34 and the Broncos 32. And we invite you to stick around at halftime. We're told we'll have a special guest.
Mr. Commissioner himself.
Jamie Zaninovich expected to join us, the WCC Commissioner at halftime. We'll also have a recap of the first half. Time permitting, some scores from top 25 men's college basketball tonight, and one other game involving BYU in the West Coast Conference tonight. All that and a little bit more coming up at halftime on the Bronco Halftime Show.
Well, let's see if Coach Keating can't make some adjustments of his own coming on the stretch here in the first half like Coach Morrill did to get Clara right back into this basketball game.
A 12-0 run over the last 3 minutes and 53 seconds, and Utah State to inbound. Underneath the basket, the ball's floated out to Reed. Touched by Shaw. Davis now picked up by Rockamore. Medlin, and the shot clock expired. I don't think Utah State knew the shot clock was down to 10.
That was definitely a short nap by the Aggies that time. Just lost track of the shot clock, pure and simple.
Turnover number 11 for the Aggies. Broncos with 9. And with 1:18 left, Santa Clara has a chance to tie or take the lead. Rockamore hands off to Foster. This is an NBA three, and he left it twice on the rim. No, rebounded, nope, tipped to the corner, and will go out of bounds off of Santa Clara.
That is just not the shot that the Broncos and Coach Kerry Keating wanted that time. You got to get a better look.
Broncos have missed their last 7 three-pointers. And now, as Davis approaches half court, exactly 1 minute to go in the first half. Medlin, Berger. Berger's had a couple of threes here in the second half. Santa Clara with a steal. Tranzolini poked it away from Reed, and here's Kevin Foster, front court left side. Kevin looking to go baseline. Kevin to Tranzolini. Floats one up, leaves it short, but contact, and Reed called for a foul. Tranzolini to the line.
I think that ball just time, a little perspiration on the basketball, just slipped out of Traz's hands, but nevertheless gets the call, and 2 free throws coming his way now.
Broncos 6 of 7 from the line. And Tranzolini has not attempted a free throw in this ball game.
Who would have thunk that?
2 shots coming. The Bronco redshirt senior who shoots him at 88%. And he misses the first. Garrett out. Nee Harrison is in. Berger and Reed leave for Clifford. And one other player I can't see. Butterfield. There he is.
That was a really nice pass by Kevin Foster in traffic that time. Kudos to Mark for even catching the basketball.
Tranzolini in the air and good. 1 of 2 for Mark. 34-33 Utah State. And a shot clock, half clock differential of 10 seconds. Davis crosses half court. 35 seconds, 34 seconds. Medlin, a jump pass to Clifford, 17-footer, no good. Foster the rebound. And now the Broncos have numbers, but Foster will slow it down with the shot clock off. Santa Clara to play for the final shot here, and the lead. Trailing by a point. Evan comes back to half court. Davis staying close to him.
Let's get a good look this time, Broncos.
Trasolini, Raymond Cowell's left side. 10 seconds now. Rockamore outside the arc, left side. Foster around a screen. Foster in trouble. Nee Harrison, who had just checked in for his first action of the year, sets an illegal screen and is called for a foul.
Well, and also to compound the problem, Kevin just put his head down and is determined to go to the basket, and thus a kind of a train wreck out there.
Kevin Foster will go to the bench. Denzel Johnson in, and this would be deflating for the Broncos to go in down by any more than a point, as they had a 15-point lead in the first half. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Davis crosses half court. 1 second. His shot blocked by Trasolini. It was a three-point attempt. And so Utah State unable to add to their lead, but they'll go into intermission up. The Aggies 34, the Broncos 33. Kevin Foster leading all scorers with 12 points on 3 of 8 from behind the arc. Meanwhile, Jared Shaw, 8 points, 4 rebounds, and those 4 rebounds tops for the Aggies. Once again, we expect to have the commissioner of the West Coast Conference, Jamie Zaninovich, join us at the Bronco halftime show, and we'll have all that and more when we return. You're listening to Broncos basketball on the Santa Clara Broncos Radio Network.